moment we all have been waiting for has went down, man. Late last night, the WNBA union released a statement pretty much confirming to the world that they did not come up with an agreement. So now we did a video yesterday pretty much telling you guys what was the next phase. The next phase looks like it's going to be
the beach. That was Kate Martin's pitch to lure two of the world's best players to Unrivaled. Not money, not competition, not promises of long-term growth. Just the beach. And the more you sit with that line, the more it feels like a window into the league's reality. How players perceive it versus how it's being sold to fans. Martin has been everywhere this offseason. On the court with Alyssa Thomas and Jackie Young in Unrivaled last year. A longtime teammate of Caitlin Clark from Iowa. Now trying to bridge these worlds. But that beach line wasn't a throwaway. It wasn't fluff. It came from someone who knows in every bone of her body exactly what Unrivaled is, and just as crucially, what it isn't.
Now, here's the full statement right here that has been released. Let me blow this up all the way so you guys can see it. Now, many of us thought that this was going to happen. And unfortunately, it did, you know. It don't look good for the 2026 season. I've been telling y'all over and over again, it didn't look good. It said at midnight, 2022, WNBA, WBPA collective bargaining agreement will expire, despite demonstrating our willingness to compress in
Here's
order
the truth
to get
nobody wants to voice. When Unrivaled unveiled its initial roster last year, names flowed, 28, 29, 30, then Kate Martin, Lexie Hull, Aaliyah Boston. And just after Aaliyah's name hit, 6 more roster spots appeared out of nowhere. Everyone watching knew what that meant. This wasn't about crafting the best 3-on-3 league possible. It was about making room for Caitlin Clark. The timing was glaring. The motive was obvious. And when those extra spots didn't land Clark, it revealed the league's core reality. Unrivaled isn't built around the best 3-on-3 talent. It's built around whoever can generate attention, whether or not that player even wants to play 3-on-3 basketball.
So as y'all can see there, they know that it's over. They know. They know that it's all over. It stated, today's display of an inflatable rat, a universal symbol of labor protest outside of the NBA store, calls attention to how the league and its teams have handled these negotiations. By delaying and clinging to the status quo, they are jeopardizing the livelihoods of players and trust and investments of fans, all in the name of preserving rigorously provisions that no longer belong in women's basketball.
I still don't see Unrivaled coming out on top. The more likely scenario is Project B flipping the board entirely, stepping in to fill the void if the WNBA season stumbles. They have the resources to do it. Forget the chatter about overseas play. If necessary, they could keep everything stateside, running a full-scale American league along the WNBA's original timeline. Even amid that chaos, one thing feels certain. We probably never see Caitlin Clark in Unrivaled. The 3-on-3 format doesn't suit her, never has. That condensed, gimmick-style basketball simply isn't her game. And if the WNBA season fails entirely, a lockout or strike, that's when the business side gets truly interesting. Does Clark pivot to Unrivaled then? Most likely still no, and not for the reasons fans assume. Many believe she'd play anywhere if the league shut down, but she already declined 3-on-3 for the Olympics. That wasn't about timing or rest. She just doesn't want to play that style. And no matter how polished Unrivaled looks or how deep its funding runs, it's still 3-on-3, still gimmick basketball, no matter the packaging.
This misguided approach will not work in the face of the league and team's actions. The players remain unafraid and unwavering in their commitment to doing what is necessary to secure a transformational new CBA. This agreement must include a salary system tied to a meaningful share of revenue that will not exist without the player labor, mandates professional working conditions, and require protection that honor the players who built this league and set the generation up.
I still don't
success.
see Unrivaled coming out on top. The more likely scenario is Project B flipping the board entirely, stepping in to fill the void if the WNBA season stumbles. They have the resources to do it. Forget the chatter about overseas play. If necessary, they could keep everything stateside, running a full-scale American league along the WNBA's original timeline. Even amid that chaos, one thing feels certain. We probably never see Caitlin Clark in Unrivaled. The 3-on-3 format doesn't suit her, never has. That condensed, gimmick-style basketball simply isn't her game. And if the WNBA season fails entirely, a lockout or strike, that's when the business side gets truly interesting. Does Clark pivot to Unrivaled then? Most likely still no, and not for the reasons fans assume. Many believe she'd play anywhere if the league shut down, but she already declined 3-on-3 for the Olympics. That wasn't about timing or rest. She just doesn't want to play that style. And no matter how polished Unrivaled looks or how deep its funding runs, it's still 3-on-3. Still gimmick basketball, no matter the packaging.
Why it's been lasting 24 months is beyond me, guys. I've been covering women's basketball now. This will be my second year going into, covering the WNBA sector of it. Never seen anything like this. I done covered NBA, NFL, and I've never seen anything like this. This is beyond me, man. Like, this is a crazy, crazy development here, man. It goes on to say the idea of a motion was floated by the league a few days ago, but put in writing late Friday night, sources said, and the union is now reviewing the proposal.
Here's where the Sabrina situation suddenly becomes critical. Remember when Unrivaled openly announced negotiations with Sabrina Ionescu? Talks were public, a deal seemingly in motion, and then, out of nowhere, Sabrina declared she couldn't participate due to an injury from the WNBA season. Was the injury real? Absolutely. But was it the true reason she opted out? That's the question nobody says aloud. Look at how her WNBA season actually unfolded. When Breanna Stewart went down, the Liberty collapsed, losing game after game. With Jonquil Jones battling injuries and Betnijah Laney-Hamilton sidelined for Eurobasket, the roster fell apart. Sabrina didn't even make All-WNBA first team, a disappointment for a player of her stature. Reflecting on that year, she had to wonder, did playing overseas in the offseason actually help, or did it cost her when it mattered most? The answer is obvious, and Caitlin Clark, watching all of this in real time, is surely running the exact same calculation in her own
NBA
head.
front office were told this week that the team should prepare to extend qualifying offers and core destinations under the expiration agreement. Sources said that would mean teams technically could offer players qualifying offers and core destination as soon as Sunday and up until January 20th. So to have a system in place for free agency, it looked like, if the CBA expires. So, like, from my understanding, they can still pursue players, they can still core players.
They started dropping games, and once Stewie went down, everything unraveled. Jonquil and Emma never clicked, and honestly, there couldn't have been a worse on-court pairing than Jonquil Jones and Meesman. Turned into a mess almost instantly. That's why the Sabrina comparison matters. Maybe Clark could pull a Sabrina, show up, barely play, just be present, maybe do commentary, and Unrivaled would still claim that as a win. But realistically, I don't see Unrivaled lasting more than 4 years. The only way it survives longer is by replacing the WNBA entirely. As it stands, sustainability just isn't there. And the reason is simple: the basketball itself is bad. Not flawed, not rough around the edges, flat out horrendous.
Great. It said it is widely expected that players would not want to sign contracts while a new salary system with expected massive increase in compensation is still being bargained. All but 2 of league veterans are free agents this offseason in an anticipated new CBA. Now, with the previous deal expired, both sides enter a period called status quo. That's what we talked about yesterday. Instead, the CBA or maintain, and both sides can continue to negotiate, but the expiration of the old agreement opens the door for a potential work stoppage, either a strike by the players
Clark
or
pulls a Sabrina. No Unrivaled games, no minutes logged, just courtside appearances, a bit of commentary, a weekend in Miami with Kate Martin, Lexie Hull, and Aaliyah Boston. Would Unrivaled take that? Absolutely, because at this point, they aren't really selling basketball, they're selling access. The cameras are slick, the presentation polished, the branding elite. But the moment the ball goes up, reality hits. The basketball itself is rough, no exaggeration. Most players out there don't care much whether they win or lose. Skylar Diggins-Smith cares. Chelsea Gray cares. The Lunar Owls cared last season. Rose BC had competitors. Angel Reese, before injury, played every possession like it mattered. Kelsey Mitchell brings real edge. But for most of the roster, this is an exhibition, a paid vacation disguised as hoops. And when a league's competitiveness hinges on whether players feel like trying that night, you don't have a sustainable league, you have an event.
By the owners. The league, however, has not considered locking out the players, so she's told. Because I feel like it's definitely going to be a strike, man. The WNBA, okay, that's the statement that we just read. Now, the last proposal was $1.3 million and growing. Well, this is what they want: 70% of net revenue sharing. They want $1.3 million salaries, $2 million life of the deal. I don't know what that is, but yeah, man, this situation is nasty work. Judging by that WPA statement, they talking trash to Adam Silver, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. But
so
this
here's
is bad,
the uncomfortable question Kate Martin's beach comment quietly forces everyone to face. What is Unrivaled actually offering these players? Because when the pitch to two of the world's best is, you can go to the beach on off days, it becomes crystal clear, the basketball isn't the main attraction. Competition isn't the hook. Sharpening skills against elite talent isn't the selling point. What's being sold is a lifestyle that happens to include basketball, and that wouldn't be an issue, except it's not how Unrivaled markets itself to fans. To them, it's revolutionary, the future of women's basketball, elite 3-on-3 at the highest level. To players, it's Miami weather and downtime. That disconnect matters. When your business model depends on star power but the stars don't actually want to play your game, you aren't building a league, you're building a house of cards. One gust of wind, one WNBA season that runs, one Caitlin Clark who says no, and it all collapses. Could Kate Martin convince Clark to show up? Maybe. Their Iowa bond is real. And if anyone could get Clark courtside or on a mic, it's probably Kate. But signing a contract to actually compete? That would go against everything Clark has shown us about how she operates. She doesn't make decisions based on friendship. She makes them based on strategy. Look at the Olympics call. Look at how carefully she handles endorsements. Look at how fiercely she guards her off-season for training instead of chasing paychecks. She knows her prime is finite and every choice echoes forward. Playing in a league that hides her strengths, risks fatigue or injury, and distracts from the WNBA isn't a favor. It's a business mistake. And the business case for Caitlin Clark in Unrivaled simply doesn't exist. Even an ownership stake wouldn't sway her, because ownership in a league that might not exist in 4 years is meaningless. Everything rests on investor excitement and fan interest, and fans care who actually shows up.
This is very, very, very bad. I keep saying that they trying to get this money, the money that they don't got, but to each his own, man. Down in the comment section, let me know y'all thoughts about this one, man. Keep them bells on. I will be back with more content, man. And until next time, shake the haters off. And as we find out more about scoring players like Kelsey Mitchell and many others, I'll be sure to let you guys know. So make sure you guys tune into the channel. I'm going to be working this thing mixed in with my other content. Got some college football content going to come out. So you guys do want to see that commitment right here live on the channel. Until next time, man. Shake the haters off.
When players are motivated by paychecks over competition, fans notice. We've seen it before. Big Three had stars, money, buzz, and now it barely registers. Unrivaled has slicker production, current names, but the flaw is identical. If the basketball isn't real, the shine fades. 3-on-3 looks like basketball, but it isn't. Strategy, pace, and physical demands differ, and skills don't transfer seamlessly. Players raised on 5-on-5 would pick that game every time. So when Kate Martin says, "We can go to the beach," she's inadvertently telling the truth. This isn't revolutionary. It's a well-paid, low-pressure gig in a nice place. Perfectly fine for players realistic about their ceilings. But for Caitlin Clark, someone already earning more off-court than most will on it, chasing championships, MVPs, legacy. The beach isn't enough. The paycheck isn't enough. It has to make her better. And 3-on-3 in Miami doesn't. The real question isn't whether Kate Martin can recruit Clark. It's whether Unrivaled can survive without her. Because right now everything seems designed around eventually landing her. You can't build a league around someone who doesn't want to be there. Even if the WNBA vanished, Clark still has options. Overseas 5-on-5, training, exhibitions, USA basketball. She isn't trapped. She just has to pick what advances her future. Kate Martin's pitch was honest, even if investors didn't want to hear it. The beach is nice. Miami is warm. Playing with friends sounds fun. But honesty has a way of exposing reality. And sometimes we can go to the beach, tells you exactly what something really is.